So to get started, I know I look different. I like to change up my looks because I get bored a lot. So yeah, if I keep posting, then you'll see like over time I'll look different. Like if you look at my very first video and you look at me now, we look like two different people. That's four. We look like two different people. I tried recording this the first time, but then I realized like there was really no meaning to it, so I want to cut right to the point. I wasn't diagnosed with depression, but I knew that I was because of bullying. I've been bullied from the 4th grade up to senior year of high school, and from freshman to senior year of high school I've been to 4 different psychologists. I'm here to tell you that it gets worse before it gets better. They say that bullying builds character, and I'm not going to deny that because it does. Being bullied has made me a stronger person, and it made me realize who I really was. And I know this video is different from all my other videos, but I want you guys to know that I'm not just a pretty face and I have a brain. During my senior year, I made a speech because I was so tired of everyone talking about me behind my back, thinking that I was oblivious to it all. This speech made me really empowered, and I want everyone who is bullied to feel like that, because being bullied sucks. Thinking that something is wrong with you sucks. And thinking that there's no one out there that loves you sucks. A lot of you don't know anything about me because you never took the time to get to know me and to ask. So, this is my bullying story. In the 4th grade, I tried to hang out with a group of girls, and they wouldn't let me for some reason. And I remember this was at lunch, and they had their lunch boxes and they were hiding their Nintendo DS's and they were playing Nintendogs in it. They told me, "Sydney, if you want to hang out with us, then you have to hit this guy really hard." And I was like, why would I want to do that? And then this other girl comes up and she's like, "Yeah, I had to hit this guy like 10 times. And I was like, okay, no, that's not something I want to do. I just want to see your Nintendogs. I want to be included. Like, let me see your freaking lunchboxes. But that didn't happen. They were consistent on the fact that I had to hit a guy in order to hang out with them. And I was like, okay, well, forget it then. But thinking about it, I was wondering why they wouldn't accept me, and it made me really upset. So when we went back to the classroom, I cried. I cried a lot. And I cried so much that the teacher got involved, and she was like, "You owe Sydney an apology." And I mean, they did, but we're in the 4th grade. Who's really like sincere about their actions in the 4th grade? So fast forward to the 6th grade. I hear people saying something about me being written in the bathroom. So I go to look, and in the stall it says, "I hate Sydney Bonpua because her last name is Pua." Okay. So that really hurt. And I remember writing in my journal, hopefully 5th grade will be better. Hopefully 6th grade will be better. Hopefully 7th grade will be better. Wishing every year that it'll get better, but it didn't. 7th grade I switched schools, and that was my first public school. I was in a private school from kindergarten to 6th grade. And I was so shocked. Like, I'm still so shocked looking back at it that things like this can happen in a Christian school. But it's because kids are so brutal nowadays. They always have been. And that needs to end. I mean, like, we need to start accepting people for who they are. So 7th grade. I was trying to like fit in. I really wanted to fit in because it was a new school. And the school year went okay. I mean, like, I made new friends. It didn't go bad. So I thought. I remember I was turning in my books at the end of the year, and this girl looks at my book and she's like, "Oh, you're Sydney Bonpua." And I was like, "Yeah. Why?" And she was like, "Oh, nothing. I just heard things about you." And I was like, "Okay. Like what?" And she said, "Oh, nothing. Like you're a lesbian." Okay. What I didn't understand about that is, why are people talking about me? I didn't even know that, like, they knew that I existed. Like, why am I a topic? Why do I even matter? Alright, 8th grade. I knew people were talking about me. in middle school, you know, I dated guys. I mean, like, how can you, what is dating at middle school? It's like holding hands in the hallway and kissing, that's it. Yeah, I was a little boy crazy, I was experimental, whatever. I remember sitting in the cafeteria in the morning and people were talking about how people were saying I was a slut for dating, like, guys. But I was like, okay. And you know, I had a good attitude back then. I was like, okay, it's okay that they're talking about me. I mean, like, at least I'm the topic of their conversations. And like, thinking back, I was like, okay, yeah, I had a lot of confidence. Like, it didn't bother me then. But then, this one day in English class, I forgot what we were talking about, but my friend looks over at me and he says, Sydney, there's a difference between dating guys and being a slut. And assuming he was calling me a slut, I just broke down in tears. I mean, like, what 14-year-old girl wouldn't? It was really traumatic. And even though I knew it wasn't true, something about it rang in my mind. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought it true. So I was here crying in the bathroom. And it wasn't a good time. Freshman year. High school. I really didn't know what to expect. I was thinking maybe things would get better because it was a bigger place. There were more people there. Maybe everyone just forgot. But no one ever forgets. In high school, I continued to date guys, you know, and then we started getting more serious and stuff. And people started to talk a lot. And, like, even more than middle school. Not only that, but I was in cheer, so there was even more drama. I never really got along with girls. So from freshman year, what I remember is being at a football game with my friends, and this girl comes over to me, who was also on the cheer team, and she says, Sydney, you're embarrassing. And I was like, okay. Like, I didn't know what to say about that. We were going, like, gaga over this guy, and I was just like, like, being a little fangirl to myself, like, what was I doing that was so embarrassing? I have to thank my friend. I can never thank her so much for sticking up for me and saying, well, at least she can be herself. I was so thankful for her that she would stand up for me like that. That experience really affected me throughout high school and made me think about myself, like, what about me is so embarrassing? What about me do I have to change in order for people to like me? And the thing is, no matter how much I changed about me, people still found something they didn't like, and they continued to talk about me. So during high school, I was a slut. It hurt, I knew I wasn't, but the more I thought about it, the more I thought I was, but I knew I wasn't. But people were so consistent of saying that I was. Junior year, I don't even know what happened. I just felt like everyone was turning against me. Like, junior year is when our friends kind of got mixed up in their own little worlds, and we all had our own disagreements, and we had a big fight within our group. And it broke me because I just thought that everyone was turning against me, which brought me to wonder again, what about me is so wrong that I have to change? What about me do I have to change in order for people to like me? And I remember coming home and I was crying to my mom, and do you know what she said? This broke me down. If people don't like something about you, then change. Don't ever, on any circumstance, tell your child, tell your family member, tell your friend that they need to change in order for someone to like them. They and you are perfect the way that you are. And if someone can't see that, then there's something wrong with them. And you need to just move on, because you don't deserve that. Senior year. It was memorable. It was bittersweet because high school, there was their positives and their negatives. But overall, I was so happy to be getting out. I remember when that final bell rang, it was the happiest moment I've ever felt in high school. I wanted to cry because finally it was all over. All the slut shaming, all those rumors that were going around about me, questioning who I was as a person, begging to be accepted, it was all done. It was gone. And now I feel like me. I feel like this is me. And no one can say anything about that because I'm happy. I am finally so happy with myself. I'm happy to say that I conquered depression. I mean, like, I still have my occasional swings where I'll think, like, what is wrong with me? But I've reached that confidence where I can pick myself up out of that hole and I can say, there's nothing wrong with you and you're perfect the way that you are and you don't need to change anything unless you want to. I put on makeup not because I feel like I need to be accepted by everyone that's out there. I want to put on makeup because it makes me happy and it makes me feel confident. This is not a mask that I'm hiding behind. This is me. This is what I want to do with myself. Don't you worry, because it's gonna get worse before it gets better, but the sun's gonna come out. Oh my god, that was so corny. Oh my god, forget I said that, okay? But just remember that someone out there loves you. I've tried to kill myself multiple times. I've contemplated it a lot, and I was really close. And I'm happy every single day that I'm still here. Suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And there's nothing wrong with crying. Cry all you want. Cry yourself to sleep. Cry to yourself in the middle of the day. But just remember, suicide is never the answer. It gets better. Don't you worry. I love you guys.
A message to those who have hurt me. A girl looks into the mirror to find someone never in her life she wanted to become. She looks at her face and points out the dimple on her chin and all the things that don't make her feel beautiful. She strives for perfection. Every day she'll put on a mask. She will perform a part that she wants everyone to see. The world is her stage and society the audience, always begging for more, to always be entertained. She hides the pain and pretends that she is strong. She pretends that words are just words and they don't rip her to shreds limb by limb. She has been pretending to be someone for so long. She has no idea who she is anymore. She is beautiful, and she has yet to realize it. That girl was me. Since the beginning of my adolescence, I have found solace in silence. At the beginning of my adolescence, I was bullied for who I was as a person. When I was 12 years old, I made the realization that in order to be seen in a positive light, you must conform to the ways of everyone else. Doing this, you will make yourself less vulnerable. Doing this, I lost myself. Over time, I started to build myself up, and yes, at this time, I was vulnerable. Most of the time, I was not seen in a positive light. Sydney, why do you do that? Why do you walk like that? Oh, she's fake. Sydney, you're embarrassing. How could someone judge another person without even knowing who they are? I thought to myself then that people would not take the time to understand who I was until I was 10 feet under the ground. I would be lying if I said that their words never hurt me. Words are a powerful way of expression. Audre Lorde states, because the transformation of silence into language and action is an act of self-revelation that always seems fraught with danger. Let me speak out to you. I have been called many vulgar names. I have been called a whore, a slut, a bitch, and you may call me what you like. However, if a woman is daring enough to embrace her emotions and follow what she wants, then call her what you will. In the end, I am happy. Are you? I am selfish, but I am not insecure. I am passionate, but not irrational. I am a tactile being, but I am not an object. I am simply a person, as we all are. Why judge someone if underneath we are all the same? We are all people. I will no longer remain silent. I will no longer think of myself as weak. I think of myself as a perfectionist, talented, strong, beautiful, independent, intelligent, and as someone who doesn't give a damn about what you have to say about me. Perfection is based off the perspective of one single person. Perfection is inaccessible. However, I believe this is the closest to perfection I will ever get. I have learned to love myself and to appreciate life. I've learned to accept the person looking back at me in the mirror, and it's time you do too.